Hey, how's it going? So I was thinking for today's video, because I wanted to do something today, I wasn't going to, so this is a very spur of the moment video, but I thought, let's talk about some villains. So I picked out 6 villains, no particular order, it's not a ranking. I've just picked 6 sort of dastardly, awful, horrible villains that really do live up to the title of being an antagonist. And this is from 6 different films. It's not just horror. Well, it's mainly horror. 5 of them are horror. 1 of them is not. They're all acted well, acted superbly. I think a villain completes a movie. Like, if I'm, viewing a story or watching a story unfold, we need a good antagonist. I mean, yeah, heroes are okay and protagonists, yeah, sure. But what are they without somebody to kind of complement their crusade with villainy? So yeah, I picked up 6 of the most horrible, villainous characters in films you could probably think of. And yeah, hope you enjoy the video. So sit back, relax, and we'll just go through these very, very quickly. So first up, so we'll talk about Father from The Sacrament. He's the leader of Eden Parish. A guy goes out there with his crew to film a documentary, looking to find his sister, who he hasn't seen for a while. And Father, they meet Father, they get to interview him. Seems like an okay guy at first, like he has a vision, he wants a better life for his colony. Turns out, though, it's all a part of a cult pact. He wants everybody to commit suicide to, reach higher heights, if you will, of being. And yeah, he just turns out to be a mean, mean man. And he'll do anything to kind of hold on to his power. Bit of a tyrant, really. And that's Father from The Sacrament. Thought I'd talk about him a little bit. Second up is a villain that I really do think is really cool. He doesn't speak, but it is Dr. Freudstein from House by the Cemetery. This is a nasty little movie from Lucio Fulci, very gory. It's got some hard graphic violence in there. It's set in the house, of course, by the cemetery. New couple move in with their son. There's strange things going on. There's something in the basement, and it's not very pleasant. And it turns out it's Dr. Freudstein, a mad doctor who committed murders years prior, who is now zombified and in the basement, lurking and waiting on unsuspecting victims. Yep, he's completely nasty. He's he's mean-spirited. The deaths are brutal. Yeah, House by the Cemetery, and it's a superb film as well. Lots of atmosphere, dripping in atmosphere. This one, in my opinion, love the score too. The score's really quite striking to your ears. I thought I had to give this a mention. Passed away not long ago, and that's Tony Todd playing Candyman in, of course, the film Candyman. Tony Todd passed away not long ago, which was such a shame. Yeah, I think this is his best role. He's also superb in the Night of the Living Dead remake, playing Ben. But in Candyman, anyway, he plays such a dastardly villain. He's the Candyman, going front of the mirror, say his name 5 times, and he shall appear. Butchers his victims, and he's on he's out for kind of some sort of retribution and revenge because he was murdered brutally, a couple of 100 years prior for basically fornicating and having a relationship with an aristocrat's daughter who happens to be white in times where that's not so tolerated so much. So that's a shame. But Candyman, he's back. He's got an axe to grind. He's not very happy. And yeah, he's going to take victims of the city with him into the darkness. Up next, this is a superbly acted character, I think, and the film's great too. I mean, it's not horror, but I thought I'd go for Alonzo Harris, played by Denzel Washington. He's the main character in this. You've got those 2 main characters, Ethan Hawke's character, and which is Jake Hoit, and Alonzo Harris. And Denzel Washington just plays such a dastardly role in this. I watched it the other week as well, and it still holds up. It's still a great film from 2001. He's showing Ethan Hawke's character Jake the ropes. He's a rookie in training on the narcotics team of the police force. Not too sure. I think it's in LA. So he plays quite a charismatic villain as well, and it does say that on the back, and I completely agree. Got so much charisma about him, but as the story unfolds, he's such a cheat and a dastardly person, and he'll do anything to sustain his power in the area which he basically commands over. He uses he's a bent copper, so he's a bent cop. He's completely corrupt, but on the police force, he will backstab. He will do anything to hold on to his reign of terror. He will use people, abuse them, cast them away regardless, discard them like they're nothing. And Denzel Washington really shows his acting chops in this as a villain. Some great dialogue. He's got some fantastic lines. But because of how hard he blows, if you will, on the cards of life, he does meet an sort of like nasty demise at the end. So not too much of a spoiler there, but he does kind of get what he deserves somewhat. But I just love watching that character, Alonzo Harris. Is just such a great character. Next up is Captain Henry Rhodes from Day of the Dead, 1985, George A. Romero, third film in the Dead trilogy, and played by, let's have a quick look, Joe Pilato plays Henry Rhodes. He's the captain of this group of military folk down in this bunker. They're also there to protect the scientists as they try and come up with some sort of cure for Earth, to try and rid Earth of the zombies that have taken over. Rhodes, he's just, again, so dastardly. He's mean-spirited. He says mean things. He's on a power trip. He's just sort of like gained power. He's the head guy now after the death of the previous commander. He's in charge now. He's ordering everybody about. He's got bad intentions. He's mean, nasty, one not so very nice guy. Really good antagonist. Joe Pilato does a great job. Really he really channels that kind of like nastiness. He comes across as unfair and mean. He's very corrupt as well. He's completely one-sided. And he favours the interests of the soldiers over the scientists. They also are on a power trip because their leader, Rhodes, is. And he's so biased towards the scientists as well. Just completely favours his troops, lets them do what the hell they like. And he gets worse as the film progresses. He just gets more and more egotistical. And to finish things off, I'll finish with this villain. Like I said, not a ranking, so no particular order. And we're going to go with Sheriff Hoit from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake from 2003. And he's also in the prequel to that at the beginning from 2006. So, there's that one. And he's great in this too. This is kind of his origin story. So he's the corrupt sheriff in a small Texas town. Basically, turns out to be Leatherface's brother in the film. In this one, the beginning, it shows you how he gets into power. He's not even officially the sheriff. He basically, it's such a small town in the middle of nowhere. These guys can basically take control. He murders the sheriff and dons his uniform, puts his uniform on, looks in the mirror, got his gun on his holster, and he basically declares himself as a sheriff. Comes across as quite friendly at first, if you will, slightly, when he meets people, and then obviously they start to see how dangerous he is. And R. Lee Ermey does a fantastic job. He's in the 2003 Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the one set before this one. There's some brutal scenes involving him. He smashes a glass bottle over somebody's face. He gets one of the guys to reenact an suicide and put a gun inside their mouths. He's very manipulative, nasty, mean-spirited. R. Lee Ermey does a fantastic job as Sheriff Hoyt in these films. I even have a figure up there, if you can see, where my thumb's pointing. That's a really cool figure. But there you go. You have it. 6 awfully dastardly antagonists / villains from movies, mainly horror. Do you think a villain completes a story? I don't think you always need a villain in every story, depending. But if you want to create that kind of like good versus bad dynamic, I think a villain's always pivotal and really sort of elevates and story, if you will, in a film. Yeah, thanks for watching anyway. Like, comment, subscribe if you don't mind. I'll see you on the next video. Bye.